Previously on Lost.
Greetings, Ron Smilik.
And Fellonius the Wizard. And we are back with Previously on Lost, our little podcast about the TV show.
Yay!
Yeah.
Lost deserves so many podcasts. It's so good. And this week we have 3 episodes. One I feel is amazing. One I feel is really good. One I feel is not so good. What about you?
Well, in that order, yes.
Okay.
I would even say I have never written so little on the last one.
Okay, I think this is pretty much the first time we completely agree, except maybe like the pilot.
Yeah. I would say the same.
But before we get into the episode 10, 11, and 12, we have a couple YouTube comments.
Yes.
Actually, the first one that I want to mention is Koba2802. It's not a YouTube comment. It was a personal email.
Yes.
Not only was it a personal email, but it was a video that he took of himself thanking us for the podcast and sharing some other thoughts. It was filmed in Hawaii on one of the locations that you haven't seen yet, but you will see pretty soon.
Yeah. Probably. But will I recognize it? I'm not totally sure. Thanks a lot, Koba2802.
Yes.
That was so nice to see you again.
Oh, man. That was awesome. And
yeah, thank you.
So good shout out there. And then another quick shout out to Baker Bell, one of our Minecraft Hardcore Challenge friends, is now catching up on Lost, which is awesome. And
keep it up.
This was a really interesting coincidence because I was in the middle of watching the episode this week, one of this week's episodes, in which Claire talks to someone about Erin's name, her baby.
Yes.
And I literally just finished watching that episode, and then I got the email that Baker Bell left a comment about Erin's name, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a magical moment."
Yeah, that is one of those island moments.
So, so she's still catching up. She's in season 1, but I think once she gets caught up to us in this one, there's your shout out, Baker Bell. Yay, thank you. And you wanted to talk about another comment.
We have one that has been on our tail all along. That's Thungun, one of our old friends. Actually, when did you meet him? 2011 or something like that?
November 2011, yep.
You always remember that. He had a question. I'm not going to read it all, but it's all about different tropes or different groups of tropes. But now we have to see
archetypes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have to think of it as some sort of TV show. And if we are missing, do you think any tropes are missing? Would you like to see any tropes added in? And this is interesting because we are seeing the black, the Hispanic, the white. We have a big guy. We have old guys. We have had teachers. We have doctors.
Yep.
We have pretty much different types. And even the poor guy, that is in my case Michael, but he was made possible to go to Australia to fetch his son. So he didn't have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So he's a poor one because he has been sick for quite a while. So we have all that types. And that's not really the typical archetypes. Now, and here's my point. I know you have one as well. But my point is, from a Swede's point of view, flying is not something a normal guy do. It's only for those who have saved a lot of money and are going for their trip of their life, or people who are so rich they can take the plane instead of the car.
Okay.
Yep. So that's flying in Sweden. We don't fly about that much. It's not a normal thing to do, except for a couple of groups. So the normal guy you meet on the street in Sweden has never flown. That's the first thing.
Okay.
We cannot get the average carpenter or anything on a plane normally. It has to have some sort of extra thing about it.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that therefore I cannot miss him on this plane.
So, are you saying the archetype that we're missing is a Swedish person?
No, 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 no. No, no, no. The thing we are not missing is one of these ordinary people.
Okay.
But if you're really looking into the characters from an American perspective, ordinary peoples are there. Michael is an ordinary people.
Sure.
Kate is more or less ordinary. I don't see that she's a professor in anything except stupidity. Charlie might be a musician, but he's an idiot anyway, but still. And then if you're really, well, you did say Sweden, so let's take it this way. There are only one real foreigner on this plane. They're mostly Americans. That's okay. It's going for Los Angeles, so that's okay. But Saeed is the only real foreigner.
Well, Sun and Jin.
Well, yeah.
They're totally foreigners. They don't even speak English well.
But they could just as well just drop off in Asia, in Singapore, when the plane is landing there. If I had seen the flashbacks before the landing or the crash landing, I wouldn't have reacted to them at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that they are going to Los Angeles, yes, so they drop down as well. But mostly it's American, and there are some Australians.
Mm-hmm.
And except for, well, it's true, Sun and Jin we have to keep it up. But Sun and Jin is the only ones, together with Saeed, that is not inside a capitalistic state, or even a democracy, if you want to do it that way. Talk politics. But I'm not missing them. I'm not missing an Eskimo. I'm not missing a Japanese guy. I'm not actually missing them. I'm not even missing a British guy, which usually should be there, and plenty of them.
Charlie's a British
he's
guy.
Not really British. Listen to his accent.
Oh, but he's supposed to be, and he's got a British flag on his wall.
No, he's not really that.
He's
so into his music, so he's just thinking American as well.
He's our proxy Brit.
Right, but he's not the typical Brit.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you think are missing?
Well, I only thought about this a little bit, to be honest. And what I was doing in my mind was comparing it to another show that has like a large ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking of a show called The 100. I was thinking of a show called Walking Dead. Walking Dead has a lot of people that are in a tough spot. And the thing that I kind of came up with is that we're missing some real teenagers who are struggling more with becoming an adult. Like we see Walt, but he's not really struggling with anything. He's special.
No, exactly. He's more special than the adults.
Yeah, but we're missing the coming of age archetype.
The 15, 16-year-old, yeah.
Yeah,
But would they be out flying? Yes, of course, together with the family, but not single.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not missing it, like, meaning I don't really think we need to add that, because I think they wanted to go for people, well, there is an age range here.
Yes.
But that's the only thing that I could think off the top of my head. So
yeah, and normally, if we are going to have some type of hero, he has to be between 30 and 42. We know that. So that's the trope we are. So we have all those, and we cannot. I'm not missing a nerd. We are not having any real nerd. I mean, a real nerd.
True,
but they are not out flying.
Well, yeah. At this point, we definitely don't. I mean, Arts kind of could have been a nerd, but
yeah,
but not really. Yeah, I agree.
And we don't have a besserwisser. We don't have that know-it-all. That's not all, but they are rare breed. So no, I'm not missing them.
I think we have a couple characters who know a lot more than they should because of TV show rules, but it hasn't been the kind of know-it-all that's like in your face.
Exactly, and then they are losing it because that's a clown thing. That's more comedy to have a know-it-all that's falling on his face all the time. Perhaps I would like to see some other type of women, but we are not seeing them all. We don't know how Libby, yeah,
Yeah.
how she's going to cope and so on. So no, but it is an interesting thought that you can see it from that perspective as well, because when you're watching it like I do, I'm just pure entertained, and then I have to put down some notes.
What?
But in this case, well, I'm not. I'm really enjoying the show. I can't just sit there, watch 3 minutes, make a note, watch 3 minutes, make a note. That's not good. I rather rewatch it if I have to.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I would say that I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, say that. Anyway, let's go over to the next bunch.
23rd Palm, The Hunting Party, and Fire Plus Water.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to read from the DVD liner notes for episode 10, The 23rd Palm, or Psalm, sorry. Mr. Echo is infuriated to learn about the Virgin Mary statues, and a flashback explains why. He demands that Charlie lead him to the rest of the statues. Locke secures the weapons in the armory, but Michael wants to be taught how to shoot. Charlie makes a desperate appeal to Claire. Okay, so this is definitely, I'm just going to say it, my favorite episode of these three. Possibly my favorite of season 2 so far.
Oh, yeah.
I like it a lot more than I did the first time I saw it. A lot more.
Yeah, and we can almost directly point the finger at Mr. Echo and said, man, did that guy learn a lot when he was younger.
Now, Echo, so we see his flashback. What do you call that? Was he not part of the militia? He was part of a gang in Nigeria?
Yeah, some part
warlord.
Group. Yeah.
But he did it to kind of protect his brother, and that sort of corrupted him. But he always had sort of... I think he told himself that he was doing the bad things for a good reason.
He was trying to, anyway.
And I'm so happy to say that finally somebody from the Taily section is on this island for a clean slate purpose.
Yes.
I've been looking for a clean slate.
Yeah.
So what do you... Okay, now after you've seen this episode, before we get into it, do you still like Echo or more or less than before you watched?
I was petrified when I saw what he did. He just went up and shot the old man. I knew that he could do it. I knew that he was able to it because we have seen him put down other people before when he was grown up. But the way he then became the big boss and all that, I was thinking, this is not going well. But at the same time, when he's lying there, the plane is lifting up, and they ask him, are you all right, father? And I see the glint in his eye, and there started his clean slate. And suddenly, yes, he's on my side. He's on my side.
Now that happened a couple years before he's on the plane. Obviously, when he's on the plane, he's at first, wasn't he in a suit? He was nicely dressed.
Might have been. I didn't notice.
I can't remember now.
Well, we'll see him soon.
Yeah.
Because we still have a hole between the Beechcraft lifting off and him being a tailie.
Yeah, but the Beechcraft definitely crashed on the island several years ago based on all the decomposition.
Oh yeah.
And so, interestingly enough, they wrapped up the Beechcraft's arc as well as his background, which I think he had the most dramatic background of any character so far.
Absolutely. And the clean slate started, but now it's actually his time to have it.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Something more must have happened between then and now. So, I want to see more of that. But yes, I still enjoy this guy because He actually really follows his instinct on what he's doing. And if it's right or wrong, he hopes that he's doing it the right way. And as we also see him do now and then, he puts things on his stick that he has to remember. And many of these things are things from the Bible.
Yeah. The other thing that is sort of interesting to me is that, as far as we know, people that get shipwrecked or crashed on this island are still around. But at least his brother, Yemi, and the dude with the gold tooth, both of them died crashing on the island. They didn't even get any, like, you know, everyone else, Desmond, Rousseau, obviously the tailies and the fuselage people. Can't remember if we've seen anyone else, but yeah, these guys definitely.
Well, we don't know what the police or the military hit the plane. Perhaps they did some damage to the plane, and that's why it just landed there. Now, the coincidence of it landing on the same spot as Echo will later on crash on, that's too much of a long shot for me.
Oh yeah, well that's one of the awesome things. Well, plus as far as we know, and I think Charlie's actually the one to give this piece of audience info. Nigeria and the South Pacific, which is where they think they are not in any sort of flight path.
They are on the opposite places of the planet.
Yeah.
So yes, that's true.
Okay, so Echo is a really good story.
But he is he's very brutal in the beginning when he hears about these statuettes and stuff. He's actually, you get threatened by his voice and all that, but later when you understand why his brother is there and he wants to give him some sort of proper burial or something, then suddenly, okay, I understand why. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, somehow like I said, it was much better, much deeper episode this time I watched it.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I don't even think I realized, was it his brother on the plane? Was it not his brother? Now it was all very clear to me. So
absolutely.
So yeah.
But there was one thing. You said then we are ending up the Beechcraft. Well, sort of we do that. But when I was going, my thought when we came to the Beechcraft this time, why don't they show us the ground? Why don't they show us the statuettes? It felt like there should be a lot of these blue things lying about, and they didn't show one. And that actually put a real good question mark on my paper. But, well, didn't bother. Perhaps they just forgot about it, or, okay, they have burnt it all, or whatever. But later on.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to believe they burned it all, except at the end of this episode, we see that Charlie has a hidey hole with about 5 or 6 of these statues in it.
Exactly.
So maybe we should go from Echo over to Charlie.
Yeah, at this point. Why? Well, the main question about Charlie is always, why does he still lie? I mean, he has been presented with a clean slate. He's been presented with an opportunity to get out of the drugs. He's even giving his own guitar back. He can restart anything from this point. And he has got the trust of Claire, which should morally point out the fact that Claire is also a stupid one.
Hey, she redeems herself by kicking him out this son.
Yes, absolutely. She's earning big points this time. But she's just reacting to the lies. And then the question is, why does he still have to be lying so much?
Well,
who is he protecting?
So I understood. He had one line in here that I understood, because he told Claire that he lied. He said that he said something like he didn't intend to use it, but he felt safer just having it around, meaning the drugs like near at hand. So I can kind of like, I mean, well, you know, you said that you once were a smoker, gave it up, and
Yep.
I'm sure that was very hard. Like I can forgive and understand Charlie for like relapses or whatever. That was his
Yep.
life.
Yep.
I don't like it.
No, but why does he have to lie about it? I mean, okay,
Well,
he's never been really honest in all his life, I suppose. But he has a religious background, even a Catholic background, and that makes it even harder to lie. Should
well,
be at least.
I think I'll slightly revamp on your question. He already had an arc where he dealt with it and he was sort of the bad guy and then he got redeemed. I'm not sure why they took us down this back down the same route, right? Like I
Yeah.
think having it and hiding one would have been fine, but then why is he hiding a bunch of them? Now that made me disappointed like
Yes.
and then
But
of course we're going to talk a lot more about him.
later on. Yeah, but let me put it this way. The actor, we are not talking about the actor, we are talking about the character. And the character is in this format. So the actor is actually doing a very, very good work of his character. Let me put that straight.
I think
So we
so.
don't, yeah, I
Yeah.
must say overall that goes even for Idiot Jack and some of the other idiots on this island because the characters are so great.
So what I was trying to think about why are they showing this story with these flashbacks other than just showing who Echo was? And one thing
That's
that
a good
I one thing that I came up with is that Echo and Charlie, both of them did things that they aren't proud of, and both of them to some degree blame their brother for their own
yeah,
mistakes.
yeah. Sort of.
And both of them in these well, I guess Charlie's comes a little bit later, but I think both of them on the island like finally take responsibility for their own issues and realize that like they were blaming their brother, but now it's really on their own shoulders. So
Yes.
I just thought I would bring that up as well.
But there is more connections later on. So yes, I agree with you. It's a very, very good episode
Yeah.
because it will also settle some stuff. At least for me.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I also so Charlie also has a scene in this one where he's up in a tree and Mr. Echo
Yes.
sees the smoke monster. This
Yes.
is the best view of the smoke monster so far.
Yes.
This is what I thought we saw all the way back in the pilot episode, which we
Okay.
didn't see smoke until like near the end of season 1, and then it was
Yes.
just a puff. This was a big cloud of smoke, and it looked
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, and they stared each other in the face, the smoke and Mr. Echo.
Yeah.
And I just thought, yes, cool man, you're winning this. And he did.
Yeah, now, Locke. So do you think Locke stared down the smoke monster way back when? The same way that Echo did? Or did the smoke monster and Locke have a different communion,
Well,
if you will?
those three are connected somehow.
Because I think that Echo literally, like you say, stared down the smoke
Yeah.
monster. I think Locke was looking at the smoke monster more with like worship or adoration,
Yes.
and so there's a different relationship between Locke and the island and Echo and the island.
Yes, but Echo's relationship with the island will grow later on, it feels, while Locke is already, well, he's sold on it. Anything that happens on the island is good because I can walk.
Yeah, but Locke in these 3 episodes and even the past few, he's still doing Locke things, but he's not really stressing that
No?
it's what the island wants us to do. He seems to not be doing that anymore ever since they found the hatch.
doesn't. Yes, it seems like Locke is content with what they found so far, so he doesn't need to go around
Yeah.
finding other stuff. Now that's the truth with some twist
Yeah.
because
So I will maybe
let's
have to
see.
come back to that.
Yeah.
But we do have Locke. Well, if you're okay to move on from Echo and Charlie
Yeah.
to Locke.
Yep.
So Locke is locking a gun safe. Well, I thought it was the gun safe. It's actually the armory.
Yep.
And then he's teaching Michael how to shoot and
Yes.
wasting the ranch dressing. That made me so mad. I said, "You guys are on a desert island with not, or a
Yeah.
deserted island with not much food. Why are you shooting at?" And
Exactly.
and that jar could be used to carry water, all kinds of
Well,
things.
that's okay, but I would have been okay with the empty jar
Yeah,
because I thought it was empty, and when I saw it wasn't, I said, "What?"
yeah. So then
That's
Michael is stressed out. He takes Kate's shift in the hatch of pressing the button,
Yep.
and he wants to try and talk to his son again, which I thought was good because he's been so desperate for anything. He's just trying to sneak his way into that computer any chance he can get.
Yes.
I believed it. And we see the typing on the screen says "you must come," and then we didn't get to see what it said after that because he got interrupted by Jack.
Yeah.
I
But
think it
that
must
was in
have.
the next episode, wasn't it?
The "you must come" was in this one, and
Okay.
then Jack interrupted him, and then the screen was blank. So that's
Yeah.
all we saw. But I think I was trying to think, okay, what kind of words would come up on a screen after "you must come"? So this is Walt talking to his dad, supposedly,
Yeah.
and maybe he's giving
Supposedly.
Michael directions on how to get to wherever he is or something like that. But it says "you must come," and now it's like, okay, if he's giving directions, you wouldn't start your sentence with "you must come." You must
No.
come north, right? Or you must come. The only
Or
thing I could,
get north or go north or anything
yeah,
like that.
like and even if you would say like "you must come quickly," I don't think Walt talks like that.
Nope.
So the only second part of the sentence I could think of that made sense was "you must come alone."
Well, yes.
So I
But
think,
if
yeah.
but if they know, I say they because I don't think it's Walt.
I don't. It doesn't sound like Walt.
Nope.
From the very, I mean, we're talking about what, maybe 10 words on a computer screen. But I think at this point I was thinking, oh, Michael's going to sneak away and forget to press the
Yep.
button. Like,
Yep.
that's what I thought was going to
Yep.
happen next.
That was so obvious, and he did it. He was in character totally.
Yeah, but he didn't just sneak away, but we'll get to
Nope.
that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else from 23rd Psalm?
Two things. One is I should have done this, but I didn't look up the 23rd Psalm. I'm guessing it's something about like forgiveness. Do you know off the top of your head?
Nope.
Okay. Do you care?
But it's probably about brothers. No, I don't really do because
Okay.
I think it's about brothers.
Oh, that would make more sense actually.
Yes, and there is someone about you should take care of your brother or something
may-
like that. So
maybe-
I suspect that.
Maybe somebody will leave us a comment and educate us on this one.
Or maybe we should be reading up on it before. Okay.
Oh, that's no fun. We got to encourage call to action. So I have three more things. They're very short, and they're all with. So I typically have an issue if an episode ends with a musical montage
Yes.
because I think it's too easy. But I actually really liked this one. We see Jin and Sun giving a fish to Anna,
Yes.
so she's starting to get accepted, which I thought was nice.
Yes.
We
But
see her.
she doesn't accept that she's accepted.
Well, no, but little steps, right?
Yes, exactly.
We see Hurley helping Libby with a tarp,
Yes, that's important.
and then we see Kate and Sawyer kind of palling around. But it felt, you know what? Like, I think I don't know. I just liked the end of this episode. So
Yeah. After a very violent episode, at
Yeah.
least with the flashbacks.
Now, I am a little disappointed we didn't see Rose and Bernard
No,
together, and in fact, in all three of these, we don't see Rose and Bernard,
at all.
and this is their reunion time. So I would have liked to see now what they do, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I
okay,
told you they're going to have a very. They are now background figures, both of them.
yeah, I
At least
mean,
for a while.
so far they are important but minor characters. They're sort of the B list.
Yeah, well, I would even put Bernard down at the E list because how exciting is a dentist? Rose, however, is a wise old lady or with wisdom. I would love to see more of her.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think he was a practical person. I'd like. Well, we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
we may be not seeing them again until they're dead. Who knows?
Oh, I hope not.
Well, me neither, because I want them to stay. But the guy who doesn't go anywhere, we'll get back to him later on.
So should we go to the hunting party?
Yes, and I thought directly when we saw episode 10, or when I saw episode 10, and Michael was preparing, I knew, okay, the hunting party. They are going to hunt Michael.
Ah, I didn't even get
directly,
that.
yeah.
Got it.
So let's get back to the hunting party, episode 11, and this is what is said on the DVD. In a flashback, Jack's marriage pays the price when he gets too personally involved with a patient and his family. Back on the island, Jack accompanies Locke and Sawyer as they search for Michael. At night falls, they encounter a familiar enemy who reveals himself as one of the others. Does he? Okay. Back at camp, Jack approaches Ana Lucia with a interesting proposition.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually one of the big surprises. So let's try to take that one late. But the main thing is Jack. You are getting on my side on this one. Well, we have been discussing this pretty often, and that is the fact that Jack has got a divorce somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
And to be totally honest, this was the absolute best way of introducing the divorce, if it really matters.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not actually groaning for Jack because of Jack. I'm groaning for Jack. Like Sarah, I just have like WTF in my notes because, I mean, he obviously, okay. So what are his crimes? He works a lot,
Yep.
and then
It's not easy doing miracles.
yeah, and then he tells her this woman came on to me.
Yep.
But I stopped it, basically. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it doesn't even matter that he said that because she was already seeing someone else and going to leave him.
Yep.
And the last time we saw her, she was devoted to this guy that fixed
Yep.
her. It was just such a change of character. It just made me really not like this person at all.
No. But on the other hand, we don't know how long it is between the two times. It feels like it's been going on for 1 year at least.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
somehow I got the feeling that Jack knew that he has been working too much.
Yeah.
He knew that he has been not really into his marriage. And if I'm right from the beginning, he didn't want to get married in the first place. I know that feeling.
And like the whole miracle worker thing, and then it proves he's not actually working miracles. Like, I think that was stressed a little bit too much. It didn't really
Yeah.
have a good payoff to me.
Nope.
So that's
Yeah.
I don't know. I also noticed that Jack is still wearing his key to the Halliburton gun case,
Yeah.
even though they now have all the guns locked up in an armory.
Yep.
So it makes me think that he's got that case. Oh, well, actually, no, he handed all those out. So I don't know why he's still wearing the key, actually. So I don't know. I
That's
just
true.
noticed that.
Perhaps he will have need a case somewhat. But to get
And
back to the divorce,
yeah,
anyway, it was time for it. But I couldn't, for the life of me, connect it to the island actions.
exactly. I have no idea why they showed us this particular flashback.
I told you it was time for Jack again, but I didn't know why did we get this. Okay, so he's I got trouble with women. Yeah, but that has nothing to do what's going on the island with him at the
I'm
same time.
I mean, on the island. So, okay, in this episode, Jack, like you said, Jack, Locke, and Sawyer are chasing after Michael to bring him back because
Yep.
he runs off. So, is he chasing his marriage that he fails? Like, he's so mad at Kate at the end because she got captured.
Yeah, well, that was the only thing that I understood.
So, was that feeling somehow parallel what he felt with
Not
Sarah? I don't know actually.
no. And I mean, if we go back to the patient that he couldn't save, he couldn't do more than what he did. But with Michael, he should have known. The same moment Michael steps his foot into the base, he is going to go from there directly as soon as he can because he's chasing his son. Now, Jack doesn't have any son. He doesn't know anything about hunting for his family. He doesn't know how that feels, so he can't understand that. So that has nothing to do with it. I mean, a failed marriage is not like a son. So I don't see the connections. And he's really angry, as you say, even when they are chasing Michael before Kate suddenly appears.
Oh, I would be angry at Michael too because Michael's stupid.
Yeah, but there's still a couple of questions, and Jack doesn't answer them. Why? What gives Jack the right to go and tell Michael that he can't chase his son? What gives him the right?
Well, he said in this episode that if they don't go get him, that it's the last they'll ever see of him.
Yeah,
And at
and
least if they go get him, there's a chance that he won't he's not running off to kill himself. I understand that. But
I can't see the reason why Jack has to decide these matters. Locke asks him, but he doesn't answer.
well,
Because if it was me, I would just say, well, we have tried to stop him several times. The first thing I would do is to go and talk to the tailies. What did Michael do last time? Now, Echo is not in this episode, but Anna Lucia is. Go and talk to her about this Michael thing. How did you react? What did you do? Go to Mr. Echo and ask him. Ask Bernard. Ask Libby. Ask
Yeah.
them. And the fact is, I don't think it feels like Jack is actually bothered with it's Michael. It can be anyone who is running off from his base. Jack has to have his herd of sheep inside a pen.
okay, so you just made me think of something. In the flashback, Sarah basically says that you always have to have someone to fix.
Yeah.
And maybe he's
That's true.
trying to fix Michael. Maybe that's
Well, he didn't have anything else to do, so
yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There is one other thing in the flashback that I thought was interesting that jumped out at me.
okay.
Jack's dad tells him that there's a line that you don't cross. He said, he says something like, "It's okay for some people, but not for you." And this is about cheating.
Yes.
And Jack says, oh, "You know all about that, don't you?"
Yeah.
I think Jack's implying that his dad cheated.
Yes, and I think that has been said or hinted at before.
Okay. I didn't catch that before, so I was just suddenly thinking, is that why Jack's dad went to Australia for some reason from like cheating on something?
No, it was his drinking problem.
But why go to Australia just to
Yeah,
have a
but
drink?
perhaps he had some contacts because I'm not a doctor, but I know that they go to several conferences and stuff and meet people from all around the globe, and they're playing golf, of course. That's what we always know about doctors, even in Sweden nowadays. But I think you should drop the Pa thing in the Australian bit, because I think he just ended up there because it's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they put hints in the show for a reason, and I'm just trying to find all of them.
Yeah, you're trying to find your own dad.
I want to see who shot Sam.
Yep. Well, that's another hint of something else. Now,
Okay.
but Jack, let's just say it. Jack was going towards. I mean, the fact that Jack agreed to operate on that father was because there was a beautiful lady.
Ooh, I don't think
I got
so.
that feeling.
I don't think he really know. Well, no, he did notice her.
Oh yes. Even I noticed her, and I'm way much older. She was a very good-looking lady.
I don't know. I just think it was his whole not letting go.
Well, it might be. It is a connection of it, but
I mean, the guy's gonna die anyway. Like she said to him, Gabriella said, like, you're not really giving us a cure. You're just giving us something to hope for. Like
yep.
I didn't really have an issue, and honestly, I think her character, was fine. Like she could have that reaction to him.
Absolutely, and she could always need some comfort afterwards.
Yeah. So
And they drove that a little bit too far, and then they just suddenly I can't, and then suddenly he could, and well.
Well, no, I think it was fine. Like I mean, they had to fit it into one episode,
Yeah.
So.
And getting rid of Sarah, well, that's good. But that's also something that he will reconsider as a failure, of course, later on.
But so let's say he gets this divorce because he's working too much, basically.
Yeah.
Apparently that's the only reason.
Yep.
So it seems like that happened before he outed his dad.
Oh, yeah.
So then after the divorce, he didn't really learn anything. He just kept working.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess I'll say I wasn't happy when they got together to begin with. I thought it was superficial. So this actually should make me happy that now we can move on, not worry about that part of his life, and hopefully Jack won't have any more stupid flashbacks.
That you can count on. He's going to have more, because
Yeah,
there is some. Yeah, between the divorce and his father's drinking, there's gonna be a lot of stuff, including ladies. That's
I'm not even
prediction.
gonna bother taking note on that, but yeah, you're right.
That's so obvious you can't just miss it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, let's see.
So Jack. Let's just finish with Jack, and then at the end of this episode. Well, okay, I guess we can't get into that. So let's go back to this thing here. So Michael steals a gun.
Yeah.
Locks Jack and Locke in the armory, and runs off. Now, I don't really. Okay, I thought something else was going to happen here, which is actually confusing me quite a bit, but I can't really talk about it right now. So Michael is gone with a gun.
Yep.
I was freaking out because that timer is clicking down and there's nobody coming for 4 hours. That was cool. Yeah. Do you think that the island told Locke to teach Michael how to shoot?
Nope.
I don't think so.
And Locke was a bit. He really didn't want to do it. No. It felt like Locke thought that would be the wrong thing.
But like he saw it coming, right?
Yeah.
I think he wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know if maybe that was the island egging him on. Somehow.
Might be.
I wrote this note down when I watched these, but then when we were talking about 10 minutes ago about the 23rd Psalm, I realized that no, the island didn't tell him, but
no,
that would have been a legitimate question back in season 1 because everything he did was So,
But Locke is content at the moment, so he's just mainly he's a main character, so to speak, that he still is the island. And we notice as well that he's very good at hunting, uh, tracking,
yeah.
especially.
So,
But suddenly he can't, and then they start to force him to be able to, and then they hear some shots, and I thought that could have been the island. Yes,
well,
the island is actually saving Locke from the embarrassment of losing the tracks.
I don't know. I mean, I thought he was legitimately just saying, okay, it's night,
Yeah,
and
we should.
although he
return.
should, although Michael's probably stomping along, not really leaving like a subtle trail. He's probably just, I don't know. I just felt like I did. Okay, I guess I agree with you. I don't. I think Locke wanted to go back. He was like, okay, I'm bored with this. And he kept saying he wants to go back.
Yep.
So I think you're right.
But even Sawyer with his hurted arm, nope, he is going forward.
Well, here's a couple things before we get to this particular part. First off, when they're in the locker, Sawyer and Kate come to get bandages fixed.
Yep.
So Kate goes out of the room to press the button. That's when Locke tells Sawyer the code. I thought it was interesting. So Sawyer knows the code, but not Kate. I think they intentionally had her leave the room.
Yes.
For some future reason that Sawyer needs to open that or something like that.
Might be, yeah.
Then,
Unless, of course, Locke is changing the code again.
Yeah. Then Jin and other people find out that they left and that they're chasing. And there's an awesome scene between Jin and Sun where she's giving him a hat and then she's convincing him not to go with them. I thought that was a really nice side scene.
Yep, a strong one still, because he is going with his heart set to help his friend.
Yeah.
And she's asking him to help his marriage and his wife.
Yep. Yeah, and he stays.
That is one of the I think that is one of the toughest things a man can ever get in between, having to choose.
Yeah.
Now, it's a friend this time, but if you have to, in my case at least, as happened, you can be able to choose between your former love or your son or something like that. That's even harder. But friend and wife, well, he stayed, however.
And I think, would you have stayed or would you have gone after Michael?
Would have stayed.
See, I would have gone after Michael, unless my wife was there to convince me not to. But I thought it was really awesome because, first of all, to think about where Jin was at the beginning of the show with Michael, they were at each other's throats, and now he's going to go help his friend. I think
building that raft was the best thing that could happen, and with that thing into his wrist as well. But
and
there is one thing. There is one thing that says that you should stay. You don't really know where Michael is at that point when you get that info. And you are going to, you can just go anywhere. Jin is not a tracker. So, I'm not a tracker either. So I would have stayed on practical reasons also.
Yeah, that's true. But I just look at it as he's so far ahead. If he runs into something, we're going to sneak up on it from behind. But we're not going to fall into the trap because he would have sprung it a long time before.
Yeah, that's
so the only other thing that I'll say backing up is Locke starts making this big deal out of nowhere about James Sawyer's real name, James Ford.
Yeah.
And why do you use the name Sawyer?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was very strange in the middle of this episode. I don't think we've heard his name is James Ford up till now.
No, I don't think we have.
So I want to know, why is Locke pestering him about Sawyer?
About something about lies. It had to do something about that.
But why?
And, well,
why does he care?
Locke doesn't really care as such, but he is also showing people, I don't trust you, I don't trust you, and he's trusting Claire, but doesn't trust anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
don't
there
know.
are that he's just showing that little compassion for some, and for some, I don't like you, and you are a liar, and I don't know why. He doesn't actually tell Sawyer. Well, he asks why he's choosing that name.
Mm-hmm.
He's not asking him, why do you change your name?
Yeah. Yeah, it was,
That would be my question if I were in Locke's shoes.
yep. Yeah, it was weird. And then now they catch, now this is where we catch back up to where you were going.
Yeah,
They hear shots in the jungle.
yeah. And I didn't count them. I can tell you that immediately. I felt like it was only two.
Yeah, I guess it was 7 because they counted them,
Yeah.
and they found 3 of 7 casings. I didn't really see much import in that.
No, except that if it were Michael who shot those bullets, it would have been closer than they were, because they should have actually been running towards him. They
Oh, I
were
see.
shouting.
So maybe. Oh, so you're saying only 3 of the shots were Michael's. The other ones were.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Then that actually makes more sense than I thought.
because he was gone when they come to the place where he had standed, and it wasn't that far apart, perhaps a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And they should have seen some sort of, or at least hear him running through the jungle or anything. I think he is now captured, one gun down.
Well, I would not doubt that he's captured because the next thing is. I thought this was awesome. This part.
This was totally awesome, totally
So
awesome.
walk us through what happens.
They are suddenly meeting a person that when we first see him, it's a bunch of hair on top of something. That's why it's, what the, who is this? But I recognize the voice.
Yeah.
Hold it, I've heard that one. And before I had the chance to find out it was one of the boat people.
Yep.
They showed him to me, and I'm going to call him Siki.
Okay.
Because Sawyer called him that. And that's exactly who I think he is. He's a Ziki and the wolves.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the group that I call the boat group. I'm not totally sure that they are the others, because these guys are having both good clothes and boots on them.
Well, he looked pretty dirty and rumpled up.
Yeah,
though.
well, that's okay because, well, that's it. Now, this guy, seemingly alone, of course, Jack wants to shoot him and so on. Big hero fellow. He's very cool. And, he was probably alone, and it seems like he's not alone. Now, Locke, on the other hand, is on the opposite side from the beginning. He wants to just drop it. Let's see what we can do. But I got the feeling that Locke wanted information about everything,
Well,
not Michael.
well, at this point, yeah, the guy says light them up, and they're surrounded.
Totally surrounded.
And Locke's face through this whole exchange is like, "Oh, this is so bad. Let's get out of here. This is not where we want to be."
Yeah, but he's also, in this case, he's the diplomat, and Jack is not.
No.
So they have to, well, I can shoot you and all that stuff, the hero thingy, Seven Samurais or whatever you want to call it. It was totally stupid. And then suddenly they haul out Kate with a gun pointed to her head. And if there was anything that I should have had chance to guess, that exactly was the action I thought would happen if I had the chance. Because everything happened so fast in these 3, 4, 5 minutes of the show. It was so awesome. This was a meeting that I have not anticipated. And it ended sort of, what? That's it? Sort of.
So this guy tells them, "This is our island. We let you live on it." Which I was like, well, you're letting them live there. Okay, that's true. You haven't attacked them. But then why were you attacking the other people, the tailies?
Yeah, exactly.
What's different about them? And he said there's a line that you can't cross. Basically, you stay on your half of the island, we'll stay on ours, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting to me.
And
And
that's why I'm telling you there are several different groups on this, and this is not the others as I was thinking. This is, if there is, then there is two different types of others in the same group. They are the leader, that's Seki and his fellows, and then we have the barefoot gang that is just going around.
I'm pretty sure that they're one and the same. That this is the others, the dirty people who are sneaking through the jungle. They're outnumbering you, and they're gonna let this group live there. But you're right; they don't explicitly say it.
Well, that's one thing. And believe me, why would Seki, if now Seki is the leader of the pack, why would he give orders to attack the tailies? Were they on their side of the map, or should I say the island? We don't know that, but we are guessing that they are very far apart from the base camp.
Right. Well, because so in order to find Michael, they went north, but
Yeah.
but the trek to where the tailies came, I think, was like east or something. It was like the opposite direction.
Yeah. More
So
like that.
definitely, I don't know where it goes from here, except that obviously at the very end, Jack goes to Anna and says we are going to train up an army. So
Yeah.
this is a different.
How long will it take to train up an army?
Yeah, this is a different Jack.
Jack Hero Army, yeah.
So he's
And
now.
why would he love to have an army? Because his ego is busted. And that's because of his divorce? I don't know.
I don't know. But one thing that was interesting, and I totally missed this first time I watched it. Did you catch the name? So Zeke says, "Bring her out, Alex." So
Okay.
so someone named Alex.
Oh, I didn't notice that, Alex. Well, wasn't that the son of Danielle?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
So I mean,
Okay.
unless it's a coincidence, he definitely. I listened to it twice. He definitely said, "Bring her out, Alex." So
Absolutely.
So I think, yeah, Rousseau's son is totally with the others.
I have always, I hope I always said it. Danielle said that they are all dead, and I say they are not. I think Danielle's crew and stuff, perhaps some of them are dead, but not all of them. She said she had to kill them because they got sick or whatever she said way back. I didn't believe that then. And now that you're telling me, Alex, okay, why is there a problem about being angry on Kate?
Well, Alex. Remember, Alex was taken as a baby, so he
Yep.
might not know any better that he was
Nope.
raised by these people. Now, when you ask about being angry on Kate, you mean when Jack was angry, or what? What do you mean?
Yep.
I think that he is. So he was angry all the way there at Sawyer, and Sawyer was kind of needling him about Kate, meaning like she's picking Sawyer over Jack.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, the icing on the cake is that she gets herself captured so they can use her against him. Now,
Yeah.
I think it's in the next episode that or maybe it's at the end of this one that I think they apologize to each other.
Well, they haven't done it yet, so I hope it
Okay,
comes
sorry,
later.
sorry.
It's not in the next one either. But the
No,
fact
no,
is,
no. I definitely no. Like the whole way walking back, she's like just following like a puppy dog, and keeps trying to say sorry. And then like later on, he just says something very cursory, and then that's the end of it.
yeah, well, you call it sorry then, but I don't. I didn't believe it, so.
Yeah. But
And
so
he's more hurt the fact that his ego was busted by Seki and the guys, because I don't think it really matters. It wasn't a standstill when they put Kate out in the circle, because they would have not stand a chance either way, with or without Kate. But Kate was, of course, the main thing in this case. I think he wasn't angry at Kate at all. It was yet another failure.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
not angry.
that's why I'm connecting the angry part with the army part.
Yeah.
He was going around, how do I get back on those big fellows up there?
Well, I do also think that if Kate hadn't been captured, I think Sawyer would have shot at this guy
Yep.
even outnumbered.
Yep.
We've seen in the past that Sawyer is willing to push it until he gets killed.
Yep.
That he wants revenge.
Yep.
So I think the only thing that stopped this was Kate.
Yeah.
And they don't really. They really play Jack's story as the
Yeah.
stronger one.
Totally wrong. And I think you understand, why wasn't Sawyer angry at Kate? They are having a little bit of a fling right now, right?
Well, I don't think they've done anything.
No, 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 no.
They're just
But they are.
flirting. Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
they are having it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have, as I've already said several times, Kate is having his dad issues,
Yeah.
and that's the point. In Kate's part, it is the military dad that is Jack, and the asshole dad Wayne is Sawyer. So she still got the two types of people, but she also seeks confirmation of I did not do anything wrong. And Jack is not interested in that at all. He's just wanting to set up an army. But
Yeah.
Sawyer doesn't say anything.
Yep. So
That's a bit cool. Now, we are going to get back on this. And one thing we can be very certain of, Jack isn't alone on the thing of getting back. Sawyer is there too.
I think so. Yeah.
These two guys will probably be the major and the captain in this army.
Could be. Yeah, the only other thing that I thought of at the end of this episode is I noticed Anna's living on the beach, not in the caves.
Yep.
And it actually seems like not really anybody's living in the caves anymore. They're all either at the beach or the
caves.
hatch.
Yeah, the rape caves.
Oh. So I don't know. I don't know if that means anything, but I feel like there was such a big deal about that before.
Yeah, and suddenly it isn't.
Yeah, so like I'm looking who's where. They're all the new people are at the beach, in fact, which seems odd to me.
And even the others. I mean, Saeed is at his own tent and has had for almost the season. It seems like the caves, we haven't seen the caves in season 2.
Nope. Yeah, nothing. It just that's where they get their water. Like, man.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, so.
But perhaps they are damp or anything. We don't really know.
I don't know. I think it's just the show maybe oversight or getting too complicated. They like people like me. I respond more to the beach than to the caves.
And I'm actually more into having a very cozy nest. But in this case, I would probably stay on the beach and do something about it. Yeah.
All right. So anything else?
One more thing that actually, that thing between Jin and Sun, I have noted. Will they break? Question mark. No, they didn't. Exactly. I think they even grew stronger together.
Yeah.
Because he stayed. Yeah. Now, this one, the last one. Fire plus water.
Ugh. Okay.
And that's that.
Episode 12. In flashbacks, Charlie relives his struggles with his brother in the band. Hurley deals with his attraction to Libby, and the connection between Jack and Anna Lucia grows. Charlie, feeling isolated from Claire and the baby, looks to Mr. Echo for guidance with disastrous results. Okay, again, I'm just going to jump in. This was the dumbest. Charlie is a dumb idiot.
That wasn't me, folks. You didn't hear it from my mouth.
And not even being on drop. Now, first of all, I liked his song. Okay. I liked the song he made up. But other than that, he and his brother should both be in some terrible accident like other drug music like people and just...
Well,
So
let's start with the brother. He has made someone pregnant, and she's having a daughter. And it's actually Charlie that knows that his brother, who have forgotten his name.
Liam.
Thank you, Liam. Doesn't know that because he's totally stoned. And after a while, pretty obvious, Liam is selling every stuff because he's going to Australia and start a new life
Yeah.
with his family. And that
Yeah.
was very swift. I just, what? You
Yeah.
just wanted to do a new song. And now suddenly, 30 seconds later, you are going to Australia. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I actually feel like I understood Liam a little bit better at the end of this episode, but I did still don't. I just don't like the situation in
No.
general.
And Charlie is still trying to believe that the band is going to continue, and we have seen several examples that that will not happen.
Yeah.
But that's his belief because he doesn't know anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that he was into music first as a kid.
Yep.
Well, at least if so at first he was having a dream. I thought it was a flashback, but I think it was a dream. But I think that it was a mix. So like he got the piano as a kid.
Yeah.
He was having some weird hallucinations on the island, which I didn't really. I mean, we've seen other people hallucinate, but
Yeah.
they're always explained why. I
Yep.
guess his was just because he's so distraught about Claire and Aaron. I guess.
Might be, yeah.
And
He is dreaming. We are knowing that.
and I think his mom or Claire says you have to play to save them all. Like at one point they're saying you have to save Aaron.
Yeah.
But then they say you have to play to save them all. So like his music is going to save everyone on the island. I don't know. I just
Wishful thinking, at
it was
least.
weird.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I usually like the weird stuff, right?
But this was weird in a totally unlogical and
Yeah.
not giving you any entertainment. This is not entertainment value.
No.
I mean, I couldn't bother less. And the more I saw, the more I thought, should I or should I not start pushing forward times 2, times 4 or something
Oh
like
no,
that?
you should.
No, I know I shouldn't. But when I get that urge, I shouldn't even be watching.
Okay, so Charlie has a stupid flashback.
Yeah.
Then he has a stupid idea. Oh,
Yeah.
I talked to Mr. Echo, so therefore Aaron needs to be baptized. That's going to save him.
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all. Like,
Nope.
why
But he
he
is actually
even-
misjudging everything because Mr. Echo hasn't clearly said that he needs to be baptized.
But
But
from
that could be some sort of reason.
and even from his vision, though, how does he jump from saving him from drowning in the ocean to needs to be baptized? Like that didn't make any sense to me.
No.
And he is so sworn. So then he's going to light a fire as a distraction and steal the baby and dunk him in
Yeah.
the water. And then that was also a sleepwalking dream, and he didn't realize he was doing it. I didn't get it at all. And
The only thing we can, and if we are nice people, you and I, and we are, we can give Charlie this, that he's actually having some second delirium of his drugs because it has gone, well, pretty much 3 months. And you can have a second run at it. That, together with the fact that he's stressed, he has no contact with Claire, which has been his stable rock to lean on for most of the latter part, and suddenly that's gone. So his brain is totally in a mess. But from there to actually almost drowning the baby, no.
I don't know. Like he basically just now, like I didn't like him then because he's a druggie. Then I kind of liked him. Then I was like, he's not really adding anything to the show. Now I just really don't like him. I don't know why they took him so far down as a character. Because he now, of everyone on the whole entire group, everyone from the fuselage, from the tail section.
Yeah.
They're not all best friends, but they're all getting along. And now he is the bad guy of all of them. He's the worst one.
Yes.
I just don't really understand why they chose to go that way. So,
How could this continue?
Yeah.
But there is another interesting fact that's at least the one that saves the episode, and that's Locke. Locke knows or finds out or guessing or whatever about Charlie's stash.
Yeah.
About the statues.
Yeah, and he
He takes them.
yeah, he locks them up. I don't...
Yeah, that's one interesting thing. He doesn't destroy them.
So, okay, do you think that Locke is trying to... Is he trying to help Charlie again? Is he trying to discredit Charlie? Is he just trying to protect Claire? Like, what's his motivation at this point?
Well, with the statues, I have no idea, but I could guess that it could be used as medicine or anything.
Right.
But the handle of Charlie is all about Claire and the baby, yes.
So you think Locke is making a move to get with Claire?
No. He sees a potential danger for Claire, and Claire is too young, too stupid, too blue-eyed. No, she's not now anymore, but she could be. And she just wants to help. Just wants to help her. He also wanted to help Charlie, but he has just proven that he's beyond help. And one of the things that Locke did in this episode that I liked was to punch Charlie in the face.
Yeah.
I was actually sitting there screaming, "Drown the bastard! Drown him!"
Well, okay, so first of all, every time I saw Claire, I got too distracted because she had way too much makeup on.
Yes, she still has.
On this island, I was like, whoa, 40 days later, you still have this makeup. That was a problem for me.
Yep, it still is.
I don't want Locke and Claire to be a thing. I don't know if it's a father-daughter kind of thing, but I don't know. Something about them to get... Like, this is where I also don't care for Claire, because since day one, she's just there for everybody to try to protect. She has had no self-guided actions ever.
She's too young.
No, that's
my explanation. It feels like she's too young to have... Well, she's had one flashback, right? No, two, I think. Nevertheless, we know that she was rather young when she got that baby, and that's not far from us. And she didn't do anything back then.
Right. And I get it. She has the burden. She has to raise this baby, but like...
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, of all the people on the island, she hasn't contributed a single thing.
No, and she didn't even do anything when she had flashbacks and wasn't pregnant, because she was out having coffee with her friends and stuff. I don't get what she's actually on this earth for.
No.
But she is a minor problem up to a point when it's about Aaron. Aaron is the main character in that couple. And Locke, I'm still not certain, but I think Locke is actually having more of an eye on Aaron because of the island.
Yeah, but so now here's the other kind of confusing thing. Okay. Rousseau has a kid. The others wanted the kid. They're trying to take the kid. Ethan, the others are trying to take Claire's baby. She has to be the one to raise him.
Yes.
But now we saw the others last episode, and they say, you live on your part, we'll live on our part.
Yeah.
We've got Walt. He's special. They're content. They're not coming after Aaron anymore.
No, because then we have also had an affair where Daniel took Aaron because she wanted to have a new Alex.
So,
but that's why I feel like it's two groups. There's one group who wants every child on the island.
Okay.
And then we have Seki, who also wants some new people in the group. But it feels like, I mean, what would you use a lot of more mouths to feed? There are only two uses. They are labor, of course, working, or they are food. I can't see any other reason why you have to capture people.
And apparently you locked the kid in a room with a computer so he can talk to his dad. Or
No,
maybe
he
it's a
did.
fake. I don't know.
And then we have the Dharma Initiative.
Yeah.
That's another group. And is that the Smokey thing, or is the Smokey thing the island character? There are a lot of stuff still going on. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank goodness. And besides this little baddie with Charlie, I'm still enjoying this show.
Yeah, I just don't know what this did to help the overall plots that I care about move
Nothing
forward.
at all. Nothing at all. And it doesn't give any new questions asked, except for the fact that why does Locke not destroy the stuff? That was my only question. But then I thought, well, it can be used as medications.
Yeah, something I don't
Anastasia, well, I'm not totally sure about the words, but you know what I mean.
I guess I should be I'm kind of negative on this one. There's 2 points I liked. One is when Locke has all the statues in his bag and Claire is talking to him.
Yep.
And he puts his water bottle in the bag and you see him wrestling. Should I tell her that he had all these, or should I just not? And you hear the statues clink together in the bag.
Yep.
And he decides not to tell her that Charlie had a lot of them.
No.
Because he didn't want to hurt Claire. I thought that was a nice scene.
Yes.
And when Charlie at the end, when he's standing in the water with Aaron in his arms, and he says, I didn't hurt the baby. Look, I'm not hurting the baby. And then Claire says, you're hurting me, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really nice delivered line. So
Yes.
there. Now I balanced out my negative.
Yes, that's true. There are some. As I said, I was glad that I didn't fast forward.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So other than training an army, I don't know what direction's going to go next because the raft is done.
Yep.
Michael's gone. The Tailies are settling in.
Yep.
Everybody's kind of in a settling in mode right now. They're not trying to get a hatch open.
Nope.
The only thing that is directional is to get an army to get Michael and Walt back. So I don't.
Let's see what the titles bring us for the next 13,
Good
14,
idea.
and 15.
The long con. Oh,
The
sorry.
long con, yeah.
Okay,
That has to be Sawyer.
I thought this was the episode that we already saw with him and Kate conning, with him conning the girl and the briefcase and the money and revealing his name.
Yeah.
I could have swore this episode already occurred, but yeah, I thought his conning stuff was done. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't feel like that would be adding anything.
Yeah.
Number 14 is called One of Them.
This makes me think of Ethan or the guy from the Tale.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Something on G.
Goodwin.
Goodwin, thank you.
This what this makes me think of,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
And then we have maternity leave, and that sounds like Claire.
Except that she's already had the baby.
Yeah, but perhaps he can now leave him and go away doing some stuff. Perhaps he can go play in the sand or whatever she wants to do.
I mean,
Doesn't look like it's going to be something exciting, these three either.
I think I'm interested in one of them. I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a guess, but I don't know if it's okay. I don't think it's a spoiler. But what if Jack and Anna decide that instead of, well, this is a dumb idea, but what if they try to put a plant in the others' camp like the others did to them?
Ah.
I mean, that would never work, but
No.
and then maternity leave, I'm thinking, okay, who are the other women on the island that could get pregnant? I think we have a candidate with Jin and Sun.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, we didn't mention Hurley and Libby.
No.
The scene at the wash machine where she seems to suddenly be coming on to Hurley. And he says, "Do I know you from somewhere?"
Yeah.
Then she says, "The plane, you stepped on my foot." That
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yes, but not
So
enough.
I I don't know. I got a weird vibe from that scene when I
Yeah.
first saw this a long time ago.
But the next step must be, if I were, let's say that, no, I'm not in Jack's shoes, but let's say that we are looking at it from the perspective of the base camp and from the leaders, so to speak. The next step has to be to get some sort of getting back on them, spying on the others, the northern side,
Yeah.
revealing more information. Because even if you have an army as strong as the whole United States one, you cannot go just barging in and hoping that you are knowing everything. You need to have some info.
Yep.
So I hope that's the next step, getting some more about what's on the other side of that line that they are not supposed to be crossing.
So we have
We'll
three
see.
next.
Yep.
I feel like we went a bit long today, and if
Yeah.
that's true, I apologize. But I really enjoyed these two of these
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. They are good, and thanks a lot for the questions and the comments and the video remarks and everything.
Yeah.
This is actually growing more fun than I thought.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
We,
talk to you next time.
yes. Bye.